if someone had told Ayotunde that the same woman who once cried appreciating the second-hand bag he bought for her would one day use fire and thunder to demand for things he could not afford, he would have bet his telos tape that it was a lie. Many years ago, lived Ayotunde Adekule. He wasn't born with a silver spoon. In fact, the spoon he came with was plastic and it broke when he was 10. His father was a cocoa farmer in Oyo State and he doesn't know his mother. Life taught him how to manage from an early age. He didn't go to the university, but he learned tailoring from one of the best in Ibadan, Baba Aramide of Ogumpa. By 33, he had managed to open a small but organized tailoring shop along Mokula Road. He was popular for neat stitches, straight lines, and not disappointing customers during Christmas season. Though he still lived in a face-me-I-face-you apartment and had only one fan that sounded like a helicopter, but still he had peace of mind. What he lacked in money, he made up for in character. What he needed now was a wife. Not just any wife, but a woman that could suffer with him today and enjoy with him tomorrow. He prayed, he fasted, and he even sowed seed in his church. Then one hot Tuesday afternoon, his prayer got an answer. He met a lady. Her name was Iru Oluwa. He first saw her when she came to the phone repair shop beside his shop. When she was talking to the repairer, something about her spirit fell light. She dropped her phone for repairs and sat on the bench outside. And Ayotunde, pretending to look for a measuring tape, walked past her 3 times before courage finally kicked in. "Excuse me, sister. Sorry, but do you know you resemble one of those actresses in Yoruba movies? That lady that acts like a village girl." "You mean Sikiratu Sidudo?" she asked. They both burst into laughter. And just like that, a spark started. He offered her cold Fanta. She accepted. They talked about phones, about business, and about life. She told him she was a makeup artist and also Thai skilling. They exchanged numbers, and that same night they talked for over an hour. From that moment, it became their routine. She would call every night, ask if he had eaten, and vice versa. One day, Ayotunde sent her 2,000 naira to recharge her phone. She screamed on the phone, "Ah, Ayo, I am blessed to have you. Thank you very much. This means a lot to me." He smiled like a lotto winner. In his mind, he had found his own good woman. When he fell sick with malaria, she came to his room with Abo. She cooked, cleaned, and washed his clothes. She called him my king, Olowo Oremi, and told everyone who cared to listen that Ayotunde was her answered prayer. One day, she said something that struck with him. "Ayo, even if all you can give me is eba and cold water, I will still kneel to serve you. You are the kind of man I prayed for, and so I will be with you." He believed her, so when he had small money, he didn't waste time at all. He went to her house with drinks. Her kinsmen blessed their union and they fixed a date sharp. But Ayotunde didn't have much money for wedding expenses. He sold his generator and the extra sewing machine in the shop. He bought a cheap gold-plated ring from a shop in Baggy. The wedding was small. The guests complained of not having food to eat, but to the couple, that wasn't an issue. They had wedded and that was all that mattered. That night, in their new one-room apartment, Ayotunde looked at her sleeping and whispered, "Oluwa, thank you for making me find peace." But what he didn't know was that he had just enrolled in a course titled A Woman's Wahala, because barely 3 weeks after the wedding, Iru Oluwa started changing. The first sign that shook Ayotunde came on a Saturday morning. He had just finished ironing one of his customers' abada when he decided to surprise Iru Oluwa with breakfast in bed. He sliced agege bread, fried 2 eggs with onions, added the last sardine in the cupboard, and placed it on a tray with sachet water. He tiptoed into the room like one of those romantic husbands on African Magic and said sweetly, "My queen, Dide, arise and eat." She turned slowly, looked at the tray, looked at him, and then sat up with a frown. "Egg again? Didn't we eat egg yesterday?" Ayotunde thought maybe he didn't hear well. "My love, I added sardine now." He stood there holding the tray like a waiter in a funeral. This was the same woman that once danced because he was buying her mishai almost every day. So when did eating eggs daily become a problem? He dropped the tray quietly and went outside for fresh air, thinking it was her hormones. But things got worse. One evening, he came back from the shop sweating, hungry and looking forward to a hot plate of amala. He entered the house and saw his wife on the bed, pressing her phone. Nothing on the stove. You didn't cook," he asked. She looked up and said, "I am not in that mood, Ayo. I need break, please. Go and soak garri or order food if you are hungry." "Order food? With what data and with what money?" he asked, confused. She shrugged and said, "You are the man of the house now. Provide. At least that's your duty." That day, Ayotunde drank garri with cold anger. As he sipped the soaked grains, he remembered all her sweet words. Even if it's just eba and cold water. He has garri now for the eba, but Madam wasn't ready to make something out of it, let alone kneel. One Sunday, they were walking home from church when they passed a boutique at Bojida. Iruoluwa stopped and pointed at a mannequin wearing a red designer gown. "Ayo, see that dress? It's giving what it should give. Buy it for me, please." Ayotunde looked at the price tag, 32,000 naira. He chuckled softly. "Iru, baby, don't worry. One day I will buy you the real version from Dubai. That's 32K, and you know your husband cannot afford it for now. Let's keep managing the barmaid." Her face changed immediately. She folded her hands, turned and faced him in the middle of the road. "So because I married you, I shouldn't look good. I should keep on wearing fake designers. Ayo, is this what I signed up for? But when we started, you were thanking me for buying them. So what changed?" Ayo replied. "People change. Ayo, I am evolving. I can't be the same village girl forever." From that day, the word evolving became her new excuse for everything. She would cook only when in the mood, and every day for Ayo felt like a new episode of a reality show. She now called him Ayo with the kind of tone you use when you are trying not to shout at your apprentice. Her soft "my king" had turned into abeg shifts, and her once cute laughter had become loud sighs and sarcastic claps. Ayotunde on his part started staying longer at the shop. He would rather sew abada till midnight than go home and face the woman who had become something else. But what he didn't know was that the worst was yet to come. One afternoon, 2 months into the marriage, he returned home early to pick up a forgotten tape roll, only to find Iruoluwa lounging on the bed, chewing gum like an actress in a B movie. She didn't hear him enter because she was too engroused in a conversation. Fumilayo, leave that thing. Me, I can't be carrying my husband's load on my head again, no. Can you believe he still hasn't bought me a new phone since we married? And men are out there getting iPhones, Brazilian hairs, per weekend for their wives. Ayotunde was surprised. He listened again, praying his ears were playing tricks. Iruoluwa continued. Last week, one of my friends on Facebook posted how her husband surprised her with a car for just agreeing to marry him. You dey hear? Just agreeing to marry him. My own surprised me with Okereka bag. The friend on the other end must have been laughing because the Oluwa added, "Don't laugh, Joe. I am serious. Sometimes I look at myself and wonder, how did I even enter this tailor situation? Me that corrects me used to beg before." Ayotunde's heart got broken. It wasn't just the words, it was the tone. The same mouth that once said, "I will build with you, my king," was now insulting his second-hand gifts and calling him tailor situation. He stepped back quietly and left without saying a word. That night, as she served him lukewarm rice with attitude, he looked at her and asked gently, "Iru, are you happy?" She looked at him as if he asked a foolish question. Why wouldn't I be happy? I have a roof over my head, small food to eat, and a husband that tries. But her voice lacked the warmth it used to carry. What she didn't say was this: ever since she got married, her phone had become her second god. On Instagram, she saw wives posing with surprise birthday cakes, dollars spread like it wasn't a hard currency, and captions like, "My man, my odogo." On TikTok, young couples were doing video transitions inside furnished parlor with marble floors, and slowly it started eating her inside. Ayotunde said to her, "If there is anything you want us to talk about, please, my love, feel free. It's too early for us to be separated emotionally. We can easily fix whatever crack this is. Ejo iyawo mi." I said I am fine, she snapped and went back to scrolling her phone to see who had posted another exciting thing. When Ayo was done with his food, he still met her and asked, "Iru, what's going on? Have I done something wrong? Why do you behave like you're managing me?" She looked at him for a long moment and then asked, "Ayo, do you know the last time you bought me anything special? Just tell me, do you?" He sighed. "But I pay bills and I give you money." "And is that now a gift?" she asked. That night, Ayotunde couldn't sleep. The room suddenly felt too hot. He lay beside a woman who once wept over 2,000 naira airtime and now scoffed at his sacrifices. He couldn't help but wonder where exactly he lost her. But what he didn't know yet was that something bigger was coming, something that would test his patience, his dignity and his pockets, because Iruoluwa had just joined a Telegram group of the wives of Odogos. Joining the group changed her in many ways. It started with small things. First, it was her language. "Ayo, this house doesn't align with my aura anymore," she said one morning. "Aura? What's that?" her husband asked. "My energy and my vibe. I need to start living soft. My group mentor said your environment affects your femininity." He looked around the one bedroom they managed together. "Iru, but this is what we can afford now. Just manage." She flared up again with that manage. "Ayo, am I a rechargeable lamp that will keep on managing?" People were taking their wives to Maldives, making sure their wives are comfortable and also the envy of other women. But all my own knows how to say is manage. From there, it escalated. She vomited a lot of things that sent Ayo into depression. She laid down unbothered, giggling at TikTok videos, and for the first time in his life, he regretted ever talking to her the first day he saw her. The very next week, her Doku's wife group took things further. They started something they called Lost True Wife Challenge. Every wife was to post a spoiled wife moment on their group. First, it was someone's husband who bought her a new Benz. Then another lady dropped pictures of a surprise party and a diamond necklace. The real madness started when a lady posted the voice note of her husband crying after she tested his love by pretending to leave him. He begged like Nollywood uncle, saying, "Baby, without you, I am dust." Iruoluwa was inspired. That evening, she met her husband with tears in her eyes. "Ayo," she began softly, "I need time to think. This marriage is choking me." He stood up immediately. Iru, what happened?" She sniffed. "I don't feel valued. I don't feel spoiled." He frowned. "Spoiled? Am I supposed to beat you or?" "Not that kind of spoiled," she interrupted. "I mean being pampered and adored. I want wine and dine energy. I want to feel like a queen, not like your housemaid." Ayotunde was confused because he made breakfast for her every day. He bought her small chops last week. What exactly was this woman watching online? He sat down and spoke to her gently. And when she slept, he began remembering how he hustled to make her wedding gown himself because they couldn't afford a designer. He remembered how she once cried after he bought her suya and coke for her birthday and said, "Thank you," for almost 59 times. As he stared at her photo on the wall with "My Queen Forever" written under it, he whispered, "What then changed?" The next morning, as they sat on the worn-out three-seater eating rice and stew from the same plates, Iruoluwa dropped her spoon gently and said, "Ayo, don't you think it's time we start improving our lives a bit? We need proper curtains, AC. I simply just want more." "Iru, please, not today again. You think I don't want more too?" "I do, but this life is no beans. I am trying my best." She didn't reply. She simply stood up and left the food for him. That night, she showed him TikTok videos of couples in matching outfits, eating breakfast in hotel rooms, wives unboxing iPhones with captions like, "My man never disappoints." Videos of women sitting pretty in salon chairs while their husbands paid with POS machines. "Ew, this is social media," Ayotunde said softly. "Not everybody posts their struggle. Some of these people are even borrowing money to form soft life." She turned to him, her tone sharper than usual. "So because others are faking it, we too should remain poor and call it contentment?" "I didn't say that," he replied. "But Oga, that's what you just said now. This house is depressing. No proper kitchen cabinets, no gas cooker, just this small camping stove. Ayo, I can't even take a proper picture in this house. Even my friends who married roadside mechanics are doing better. At least borrow too. Let me feel among. I want us to move. Let's at least get it self-contained with tiled floors and bathroom inside. This face me I face you is choking me." Ayotunde rubbed his forehead. "You know how I struggle to pay for this place. How do you want me to suddenly pay for a bigger place?" She shook her head. "Then maybe you need to think of another hustle. People are doing multiple streams of income. You can't just be doing same thing year in, year out and expect miracles." "Iruoluwa," he said quietly, "this is not what you were saying before we got married." She stood up and said, "That was before, Oga. But now I know better. I am no longer loyal to hunger. I now want more." That sentence broke something inside him. From that night, the joy in their home disappeared. She stopped sitting beside him to eat. She would dress up and leave the house without telling him where she was going to. She started answering calls in hushed tones and giggling at messages she wouldn't let him see. When he brought it up, She snapped. So, Oga, you want to start controlling me in this house even when you can't control giving us a good life? He walked out that day and sat outside with tears quietly burning his eyes. How did we get here? He asked. How did the woman who once held my hand in church and prayed for a better future now look like a mistake? That night, he opened his WhatsApp and saw her new status. Being a good woman is not enough if your husband is a broke man with no vision. His hands shook as he dropped the phone. He had never felt so useless in his entire life. He couldn't sleep properly anymore. Some nights, he would lie awake staring into space and his mind spinning with thoughts. He started waking up earlier than usual, dragging himself to the shop like a tired machine. He started working like a man on autopilot just to keep the house going. He began losing weight. People, especially his neighbor, the phone repairer, noticed, and then he asked, Are you alright? One night, he came back home after a long day. He hadn't eaten all day and he had also trekked in order to save money. All he wanted was to sit down, bathe and eat something warm. He entered the room and found nothing. Iruoluwa was on the bed scrolling through her phone with her earpiece in. He stood quietly for a moment and then asked softly, Did you cook? She glanced at him and replied, I was busy today. You are a grown man, Ayo. You should know how to find something to eat. He didn't argue. He just turned around, left the room, sat outside in the dark compound and broke down quietly. It wasn't just the hunger. It was the loneliness inside his own marriage. This was the same woman who used to dish food for him in a full flask and say, I don't want you to be hungry. This is your lunch. Now, she was someone else. The worst part, he had nobody to talk to because he was the man. A man wasn't supposed to complain. A man wasn't supposed to say, I am tired. A man wasn't supposed to say, my wife is killing my spirit. So he stayed silent until silence started choking him. One day, his landlady Mama Shade called him aside. His rent was due, so he was frightened. My son, she said kindly, I am not here for my rent, so relax. I don't mean to enter your private matter, but you are not looking well. Your eyes look far away. Are you okay at home? Ayotunde opened his mouth to speak, but nothing came out. He just nodded and forced a smile. He didn't want anyone to know, but inside he was slowly becoming a stranger to himself, and his silence was becoming a danger. One evening, he dragged his tired body home after a long day. As he stepped into the room, Iruoluwa was standing in front of a full-length mirror, wearing a dress she bought online, admiring herself. Welcome, she said without looking at him. I need your attention, she said suddenly, turning to face him. There is this apartment in Challenge. 2-bedroom, POP ceiling, modern tiles and a prepaid meter. They are taking 6 months upfront. I think it's time we move. Out of frustration, he replied, Iruoluwa, where do you want me to get that kind of money from? I haven't paid for this because most of my customers have not paid. So, Ayo, because they've not paid, we should continue living in this matchbox room? He took a deep breath, eyes still locked on hers. Iru, please understand with me, he whispered. I am just trying to survive. I just returned home since morning. I haven't eaten. You didn't cook. You didn't ask how my day went. You just dropped this like I'm an ATM with cracked buttons. She rolled her eyes and turned back to the mirror. You always find a way to make me the problem. The room fell silent. Then he said quietly, I don't even recognize us anymore. Yes, because you are not the man I thought you were. Ayotunde smiled sadly, picked up his phone and charger, slid them into a bag, picked up a few things and walked to the door. She stood confused. Where are you going? She asked. I don't know, he said without turning, but I need peace, Ziru, and I haven't had that in a long time. And with that, he left. The next morning, Iruoluwa woke up expecting to hear him boiling water or ironing one client's clothes as usual, but the room was empty. No smell of tea, no humming of gospel songs, just silence. She dialed his number. It was switched off. She checked his shop. It was locked. She asked his neighbor. He hadn't seen him either. Her heart skipped. She told herself he was just trying to form maturity, but deep down, fear slowly crept in. What if he really left? What if this was it? By evening, people began asking questions. Mama Shade, the landlady, pulled her aside. Wife of Ayotunde, this your husband. Is he alright? I saw him yesterday. He wasn't looking okay at all. What are you people going through inside this house? Iruoluwa gave a weak smile. It's nothing, ma. He will be fine. For the first time in a long time, she looked around their tiny room and felt loneliness, something she hadn't felt before. Meanwhile, Ayotunde stayed at a friend's shop in Okeado, slept on the cold bench, bathed with sachet water behind the building and used his phone only when necessary. He needed space to think. For 2 days, he didn't pick her calls. He didn't open her text messages, not because he was angry, but because he was tired. Tired of being needed only when it was convenient. Tired of pouring into someone who wasn't checking if he was empty. And tired of building alone. On the 4th day he left the house, he sat behind his locked shop on a cracked wooden bench. His head rested against the wall with his eyes closed. No customers, no calls, just him and the truth he had been avoiding for months. He finally whispered to himself, Ayo, now love you take enter marriage, and love itself is not enough because love no the parents, love no the put food for table. And this your love can die and get buried if the right things are not done. He exhaled deeply and shook his head. Iru is not wrong after all for wanting better. She just forgot how to want it with sense. You would have planned better before marrying. You would have saved more. You can't feed her properly and you want her to be happy. You are trying, but it's not enough. It was bitter, but it was the truth. Right there, he made a decision. He stood up, washed his face at the nearby tap and walked to a cyber cafe in Dubai. He printed flyers offering home delivery tailoring, express fittings and even bachelor party styling. He posted on WhatsApp groups, Facebook pages, even joined Twitter threads where people advertised their hustle. He also walked into 4 boutiques that week and begged them for a deal. He knew his pride wouldn't feed them. If marriage would work, if he would ever be happy again, he had to rise fast and smart. No more the pity party and no more pretending. Back at home, Iruoluwa was in a mess. The silence in the room was deafening. She deleted the group out of shame. The same mentor that once encouraged them to ask for more now replied her long complete message with, Sorry sis, you knew your husband's level before marrying him. Even her close friends were beginning to give her side eyes. Her older cousin Abike visited and didn't spare her. You said you wanted soft life, but soft life needs soft money, she said. You are not working. You are not supporting. and you are fighting the man putting food on the table? You think marriage is a cruise? Iru, better use your sense. And for the first time, she just wished she had spoken to her husband with more kindness. 2 weeks later, Ayotunde didn't come back home, but he didn't disappear either. He started sending small money through mobile transfer. 3,000 naira here and 5,000 naira there. No messages, no calls, just silent responsibility. Iruoluwa became ashamed of herself. She remembered the man who used to iron her church clothes while she slept. The man who once sold his only working phone just to make sure she went to the hospital when she was sick. She had mocked that man, but he never stopped loving her. She was determined to make everything right. One Saturday morning, she walked to his shop with 2 pure water sachets and a small cooler of jollof rice she had cooked herself. She placed it on his table quietly and then said, "I cooked too much rice. I thought maybe you could help me finish it." "Thank you," he said. He hugged her and they ate together. Later that evening, he returned home. They sat together to talk. No insults and no blames, just 2 people who were wounded but wiser. She apologized genuinely and he forgave her, and they both agreed to work together and upgrade their lives. 1 year later, the 3-bedroom apartment in Okeado was ready. It wasn't luxury, but it was theirs, neatly tiled and freshly painted. They didn't wait for soft light to arrive anymore. They built it with patience, with understanding and with a team spirit. Sometimes they still joked about the old days, how unnecessary things almost ended their marriage. But now, laughter filled the room because they had healed together. Gradually, all the things Iruoluwa admired online began to happen in her own home because she patiently built with her husband. Hey, African Tales by Kama Tribe, how are you all doing? For me, I am doing just fine. I hope you learned 1 or 2 things from this story because I believe this is a timely story. Before I leave today, I would like to say this. Dear women of the internet age, please hear me and hear me very well. Online love is not the real deal. That video you watched of a woman surprising her husband or a husband surprising his wife with a Benz doesn't show you the 10 years of quiet sacrifices behind it. That Instagram post where a woman got flown to Paris doesn't show you the therapy sections, the tears, or the loneliness she battles off camera. Social media is a highlight reel, not a full movie. You are seeing filters, not facts. You are seeing edits, not efforts. You are seeing captions and not context. Don't destroy your home because of someone else's staged happiness. Don't despise your hardworking husband because another man bought an iPhone 15 for his girlfriend on TikTok. Don't let strangers online who don't even know you push you into a spirit of competition and discontent. The truth is, some of those women you envy are also crying behind ring lights. Some are enduring silent battles you will never see because likes and shares have become more important than peace and partnership. I appreciate that man who wakes up at 5 a.m. to catch bus to work so that you and your children can eat. And dear men, appreciate the women who prayed for you in the secret, not for content. Social media is not real life. Yes, love is sweet. Surprises are beautiful. Gifts are lovely. But don't let social media teach you how to be ungrateful. That couple doing TikTok dance challenge isn't showing you how they fight like cat and dogs once the camera goes off. Be wise, my dear. Don't let Instagram rush you out of a peaceful relationship into a toxic fantasy. Don't let Facebook aunties who don't know your husband tell you how to run your home. Don't let TikTok pressure you, turning your marriage into a performance. You are not in a competition. And even if you want soft life, plan it together. Build it slowly. Don't insult the man who is laying foundation just because someone else is already painting his walls. Let me ask you, when your husband is struggling, do you insult or encourage? When money is not flowing, do you mock or support? When your friends post expensive gifts, do you pressure your husband into debt or do you pray and push together? The truth is, many women don't have marriage, oh. They only have performance. And many others don't have peace. They just have packaging. Don't be carried away, because if you are not careful, you will destroy your home trying to copy someone who doesn't even have one. Let social media entertain you, not control you. Let online love inspire you and not deceive you. And finally, let your home be your reality, not a borrowed version of someone else's feed. What you see online can either grow you or ruin you. The choice is yours. On this note, I sign out from today's story. Please let me beg you, share this video out so that it can reach a wider audience. I am begging you, share it out to your loved ones, share it out on your platforms. Enjoy. If you enjoy it, give it a thumbs up as well. And let me get to read from you in the comment what you think about the story. If you have not subscribed, you know what to do. Hit on that subscribe button and be a part of us. Until I bring another exciting story your way, it's a goodbye from here and God bless you.